A pivotal game for Northern Ireland in the Nations League. They have made the trip to Albania and Tirana for what could be a crucial match in the group. We pause now, though, for the two anthems. Match day 5 in the Nations League. Northern Ireland and Albania both in League B of the New Look competition. The Republic of Ireland leading the way. They've already won the group. They have 12 points going into tonight's match against Hungary, who are in second place on 5. Northern Ireland on 4, and Albania with just the 1 solitary point. Tirana, the venue for this one. Northern Ireland won the corresponding fixture 1-0 at Seaview. Lauren Wade with the winner on that occasion. The match referee and the rest of the officials are ready. Just an opportunity for both squads to get their team picture taken. And let's look at the Northern Ireland line up first. A big occasion for Maddie Harvey-Clifford. The Crusaders goalkeeper makes her senior debut. Laura Rafferty will play alongside Sarah McFadden. Danielle Maxwell keeps her place after 2 strong displays last month, with captain Marissa Callahan returning to the starting 11. There is the lineup for the home side, Albania. Rex Heppy was outstanding at Seaview in the reverse fixture. 3 changes from that game. Quickest graphics I've ever seen in the world feed, but hopefully alongside me, Gail Redmond will be able to tell us a little bit more about the two lineups as we see the officials from Finland for this game. But first of all, as Marissa Callahan and her opposite number hand over the flags and toss the coin before this game, what do you make of the decision to bring Maddie Harvey-Clifford in?
Yeah, I think it's, one area of the game where we know that we don't have loads of experience in our goalkeepers, and Maddie's now getting an opportunity to show her quality and what she's done for Crusaders this past season.
And what an opportunity when you look ahead to Tuesday night and the potential for that game, a massive game against the Republic of Ireland at Windsor Park. There's a big crowd expected for that one, and I'm sure a lot of people identified that fixture when the group came out initially. There's an argument though, Gail, to say that this game is more important than whatever happens on Tuesday night.
Oh yeah, and once you go with your rivals in the same island of you, you're looking towards that fixture. It's very, very exciting for any fans in Northern Ireland. And again, but this is probably the one that they've targeted at the very beginning, where they see that they can get 3 points. But it's certainly not a given. Albania did tremendously well in Belfast at Seaview. They defended very, very rigidly. 2 banks of 4. They move really well, and I think we'll have to mention again that their goalkeeper, who was outstanding that night.
And was also outstanding. You mentioned the fixture against the Republic of Ireland. The Republic of Ireland very narrowly winning. They've been dominant throughout the group, but very narrowly winning the fixture here in Albania last month. It was actually delayed by about an hour between the first half and second half because of heavy rain. And Rex Heppy stood out once more on that occasion.
Yeah, she did. And again, when you've got someone with her quality just at the back, she's a fantastic shot stopper. She moves around the goal very, very well. You keep your team in the game for longer periods, and then that just gives you confidence moving forward.
And talk us through the rest of the Northern Ireland lineup, and obviously a lot of familiar faces there, the likes of Sarah McFadden. You would expect her to be on every side. Demi Vance, Simone McGill, amongst others. But what about some of the other players, the likes of Laura Rafferty, for example, who slots in alongside McFadden, and also Danielle Maxwell, who had a brilliant month last month?
Yeah, she did. And again, going back to Laura Rafferty, she's been tremendous for Southampton. They're third in the championship right now, really with lots of momentum. And, she'll bring that experience in. She's played with Sir McFadden many times before, and, they'll be the solid back line.
Marissa Callahan back too. What kind of role do you see her playing?
Yeah, higher up the pitch. I think, she'll support Simone, underneath in the midfield. And, she makes those fantastic runs in behind. And, she knows where the goal is.
You see an early opportunity for Northern Ireland as Wade tries to play it forward. She was the player who scored that all-important goal in North Belfast to secure the 1-0 victory on her 50th cap. It was a 100th cap for Sarah McFadden on that occasion. There's Rex Heppy, the player we've been speaking about, plays her club football in Kosovo, but really stood out in that fixture as Sarah McFadden clatters into one of the front three from Albania. They'll know all about that. It was Docky, the captain, who actually scored against the Republic of Ireland in that defeat last month in Dublin. Has a skipper's armband on once again, but McFadden certainly wasn't standing the ceremony on that occasion.
Yeah, I think Northern Ireland have targeted her as one of Albania's main outlets. Her finish against Republic of Ireland was something very special. She made a blindside run and finished the first time. So I would say Northern Ireland have done their homework there, and they'll make sure that she isn't going to get very much of the ball. Everything
tends to go through her, and that was very evident in Belfast. It looks to be a slightly bigger playing surface here in Tirana. Do you feel that will benefit her more?
Yeah, I think it'll benefit Northern Ireland. I think, the pace that we have in the front three, and especially in wide areas, the full-back roles with Vance, if we can get on the ball there, we could really exploit them in behind.
Krasniki came off the bench in Belfast as Danielle Maxwell having to work very hard in her own half. Had that brilliant finish, of course, in the draw with Hungary at Seaview. Northern Ireland so unfortunate away from home, and they were defeated 3-2 by Hungary with virtually the last touch of the game on that occasion. Here is Vance, the player you were speaking about a moment ago. That's twice that Lauren Wade's had a lot of space on the far side. Looks to be playing a little bit wider than normal. Lauren Wade at plenty of occasions in international career has maybe drifted in towards the middle, supporting Simone McGill, but very much hugging the sideline in the opening couple of minutes. Rebecca McKenna plays it towards Maxwell again on this right-hand side. You see Julie Andrews nipping at the heels of the Albanian midfielders. Worked out towards Krasniki. The 1-2 being played. Nice build-up from Albania. Little flick inside. Almost managed to find its way through to Max Suti, but McFadden was on her toes like she so normally is. Maxwell felt there was a free kick there. Wasn't given, and play continues.
Yeah, it's really nice play by Albania. They're just working down the corners, 1-2 passes. Nothing really came from it, but they're playing in the right areas. And for Northern Ireland, they just need to get the ball here in the front foot, get comfortable, take the sting out of it here, and I think get the ball in behind. Albania needs to be the game plan for tonight, where we can really hurt them.
Albania got a lot of bodies back in Belfast. Even in the early stages, it looks like they're playing a similar deep role as McFadden gets her head up, looking in towards the middle. The goalkeeper collects it at the second attempt with McGill, the closest player. How big a boost was it for Simone McGill getting her first Aston Villa goal in the last 10 days or so?
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. You know, she's had a tough journey with injuries, and you know, for all that hard work to come back and to get your reward with a fine goal, I think is just going to give her more confidence, and hopefully that she brings that to the game tonight.
Dockey's down and looks to be in a lot of bother here. Didn't see the incident, but certainly as soon as she went down onto the ground, she was gesturing across to the medical team to come across. A player of undoubted quality, Dockey, and a real leader within this Albanian side. Oh, it's
her ankle.
It's just her ankle. It seems to have stuck in the turf. You can see Jolie Anders was alongside her, but certainly didn't influence that. Does look to be a good stadium in Tirana, and the playing surface looks well also from where we are back in Belfast, as we said, but
definitely looks warmer there.
It certainly does. There's the debutante, Maddie Harvey-Clifford, and Dockey, with a grimace on her face, looks like she's going to try and run this one off. 5th match in charge for Tanya Oxtoby. Interesting to hear some of her comments about trying to make sure that Northern Ireland play for 90 minutes. She's felt that there have been little glimpses of what this squad can do when you take into account the away performance in Hungary, bouncing back twice from a goal down, and then turned it on against Hungary at home. It has to be said, for maybe 15 minutes or so towards the end of the game. She wants to see that right from the start.
Yeah, it's the concentration levels in those key moments of the game, you know, starting off the first 15 right before half-time, and you know, as well as the latter part of the game where, you know, I think Northern Ireland were bitterly disappointed against Hungary.
But Gail, how do you try and do that as a coach? How do you try and tell the players to start quicker, to try and get out of the blocks if you want? Because obviously every manager wants that.
Yeah, I think you do it at training. I think that's what you see. You know, you put yourselves in training games that you have to think quick under pressure. You know, in the latter parts of training, you know, you maybe go the extra 5 minutes in case the game does continue on now. And you know, so it's important that, you know, you train in those high performance environments where you can get confident in doing that and practice together.
Is it a case sometimes of being more brave, if you want, because international football in particular can be cagey for the first 20 minutes or so? A lot of times it's a case of shadow boxing and just each side trying to figure the other one out.
I think it comes down to maturity, you know, understanding your roles and responsibilities, and, you know, in those key moments, being able to execute.
Well, on the other side has had an effort on goal in the opening 7 minutes here as Marissa Callahan tries to link up with Simone McGill. Maliki plays it forward, but it's picked up by Chloe McCarran. Started the last couple under Tanya Oxtoby. McCarran, such an important player when Kenny Shields was manager. Provides a little bit of support for the back four, just sitting in front of Chloe McCarran, a Glentoran player. No Nadine Caldwell in the lineup. Rebecca Holloway is back from suspension, but he's on the bench for this one. Here is Vance.
Albania just happy just to sit in a lower block, you know, let Northern Ireland have it around the back, and this is where Northern Ireland have to be patient but also probe in the right areas where they can get an overload.
Are you surprised that, given that, you know, you maybe understand it when Albania play away from home, but it's not typically what a home side will do against a team that that isn't light years away from them in Northern Ireland when you look at the world rankings.
Yeah, I think the coach is really looking for some continuity within their squad of a style of play that's going to suit them.
A lot of changes in the Albanian squad. They've tried to bring in some younger faces and work in their domestic league. Great to see so many players based here in the Northern Ireland lineup. Simone McGill is dispossessed. Danielle Maxwell felt she should have had a free kick for handball as she tried to play it through to her Cliftonville teammate Marissa Callahan. Albania yet to pick up a victory in the group, and of course in the new look competition. This is the first year of the UEFA Women's Nations League. It's trying to bring more competitive fixtures into the calendar and also provide a route towards your seeding for future qualification groups. At a higher level, there are implications in regard to the Olympics also, but for Northern Ireland, it's very much a case of solidifying their place in Group B, or potentially even trying to be promoted to the top tier. They're just a point behind Hungary, who of course are in action against the Republic of Ireland later on in Tala. Eileen Gleeson's side have already won the group. They will be promoted to League A of the Nations League. Here's Callahan. Can she pick out a teammate? McGill was in the middle, got a really good touch on it, but it's superb defending. Northern Ireland have looked really dangerous down that left-hand side, but Maliki, with the outstretched leg, managed to hook it clear just as Simone McGill was about to celebrate. Got there ahead of the goalkeeper. Did everything right, McGill, but credit to Maliki, who got back on the line and denied Northern Ireland an opener.
Yeah, it was a fantastic play for Callahan just to pull wide, and again we know the good quality she has with her left foot, and it looked like it was on a plate for Simone McGill, but just could not get the right connection just to make sure that it went to the back of the net.
And it's strange with Albania playing so deep that's a couple of occasions, whether it's Lauren Wade or Marissa Callahan, that they've been relatively unchallenged on that left-hand side.
Yeah, and again, if you do remember, McLaren picked up the ball and it looks like that, they were on a counter-attack, and we were patient. We didn't like the options, but once you get the ball wide and you get around teams, I think that's where you can really have success, especially against Albania. That
will really buoy Tanya Oxtoby and the rest of the management team. An early opportunity. Northern Ireland very unfortunate not to take the lead, but for that fantastic defending from Maliki. Visitors starting to control the game a little bit more. Rafferty, as you mentioned, in fine form for Southampton, who are riding high in the second tier of women's football in England. McFadden quickly works it in towards McGill. This is very good from the visitors. Played in low, cut out with relative ease, and finds a teammate. Tukai with the initial clearance. Krasniki finds Docky. Looks to be okay there after that initial knock on her ankle. Good duel between herself and McKenna as it's lifted in towards one of the front three, Maksuti. Albania haven't been able to muster anything on goal so far. They started their campaign with a 1-1 draw against Hungary. They led for a lot of that game. Then it was a 1-0 defeat against Northern Ireland. Lauren Wade with the only goal of that match at Seaview. A 5-1 defeat by the Republic of Ireland, followed by a 1-0 loss at home. That was a late Denise O'Sullivan strike that denied them a point in that fixture. So it's left them with just the solitary point after 4 matches. They need something from this game if they're to avoid relegation. It's that similar ball in again. towards that front post area. Simone McGill didn't gamble this time, but I think Tanya Oxtoby will be relatively pleased with what she's witnessed so far.
Yeah, I think it's been an encouraging start for Northern Ireland. You know, wide areas, especially in the left side, we're looking very dominant and might just need a wee bit more 1v1, be willing to take that person on, maybe not cross it as early to give the chance to the midfield to come up and support.
Slightly overhead from McKenna. Julie Andrews seems to be a bit of a favourite of Tanya Oxtoby. There's been a lot of chopping and changing around the midfield area, but Andrews has played the majority of her 5 matches in charge. I think she's only missed one of them.
I think this Nations League given her a real opportunity to find out, you know, her players and who fits well together and implementing a new style and a new DNA of what Northern Ireland are going to be like over the next 2 or 3 years.
It's come at a good time for Northern Ireland because it was real frustration for players and management previously that it was so difficult to get fixtures. This gives you six matches across 3 months and then the potential for playoffs in February. Northern Ireland will hope to be in one of those playoffs. Ideally a promotion one. It's a 2-legged affair. The draw for that is taking place very soon. After the conclusion of the group. Just a reminder that game against the Republic of Ireland is live on BBC Two television. It's an early kick-off for that one, 6 o'clock on Tuesday. McFadden. Cross to Rafferty. Again, no pressure at all being put in the back line. That's nicely worked out towards Lauren Wade. Got her head up, looks inside. No McGill there this time, though. And it's cleared across to Matala. Back though with Vance.
I think it was really good for Northern Ireland there. Simone McGill coming into the pockets a little bit deeper and having those forward runs of Wade and Callahan and Andrews. I just think if Wade holds on to it, maybe goes to the byline, you know, asking more questions of Albania, maybe pulling the ball back, Northern Ireland should have more success.
Well, they're certainly knocking at the door in the opening quarter of an hour. McFadden staying touch tight as Ducky tries to flick it out towards the far side. Should be dealt with by Rafferty. Wade. At Reading, of course, in England. Moved there after the Euros. Recently turned 30, Lauren Wade. Makes her way across the right-hand side. I think she does tend to do that. Has that ability to cut in from the opposite flank. As Vance plays it across to Callahan. Now Wade's got space at the back post if Callahan can find her. Slightly overhit from Callahan, who just put her hand up to apologise. Numbers were going forward into the penalty area there.
Yeah, it's really positive here from Miss Callahan. She just couldn't wrap her foot around the ball, but numbers in the box, like you said, and definitely there at the back post where teams are weak when you're one side of the pitch.
Poor goal kick. Picked up by the visitors and worked out towards Maxwell. We had battling for it. You mentioned that this is a side that's very much in transition, trying to find its identity. Do you see the signs that identity is building match on match?
Absolutely, yes. I think without a doubt, I think against Albania at TV we were very unlucky with the chances that we created. Not to score many goals, but you can understand here. But now we've just gone inverted, with our wide players and the rotation and the amount of the ball that McLaren's getting, been able to dictate play. You can see the phases all kind of coming together.
Rafferty to McKenna. very much a mainstay of the starting 11 now, Rebecca McKenna. Burst on the scene before the Euros and it's pretty much made that right full-back berth her own. Very capable of maybe tucking inside as well and playing in a 3. And perhaps are there times when we might see her do that even on an occasion like tonight?
Yeah, I think so. You know, depending on what way the game's going and you know, where you're trying to get your width from. You know, sometimes you'll build up with the 3 at the back, so you're both your wing backs can go wide and high to give you more options. So
Krasnicki is played forward. When you look at the selection for this game, was one eye perhaps in the Republic of Ireland also? When you look at maybe some of the players not involved?
yeah, I think it's hard as a manager when you've got a double header. You know, you are thinking of, as much as you're taking it one game at a time, you are thinking of your next opponents
Could
as
be
well.
a chance here. Back to Andrews, could be 1-0, takes a deflection, goes over the top. Sorry to interrupt, but Northern Ireland were on the attack. It was a good pull back towards Jolie Andrews. Here's another look at it. Wade had nipped in. We mentioned that she'd swapped flanks and it's fired goalwards, glances off the defender and over the top. It was Tukai. Wouldn't mind seeing that one again in terms of where it actually struck her, because well, she couldn't get out of the way of it. It did appear to be around the arm area. No appeals though from Northern Ireland's point of view amongst the players.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate it was a little bit behind Andrews where she had to take a touch. There was a great ball in by Wade her first time.
McFadden put under real pressure, but it's going to be recycled by Wade. Having that little bit of success down this right-hand side. Plenty still forward. It's Julie Andrews tucking in and helping out at the back. Can't really give Vance space like this as McFadden throws herself at the ball. Again, it's good defending, because whilst McFadden looked favourite for that, I think the defender made it so difficult for her.
Oh, it was an excellent ball in, Thomas, from Demi Vance. And I was up off my chair there, because when you see Sarah McFadden in the box there, you know, calling for it and going up, oh, the defender did so well to keep her from getting the first contact.
And I think that's a couple of times that the centre half in that position has made it very difficult for the attacking player. It's Maliki who's been involved on a couple of occasions, and I think Maliki was the player who actually took the ball off the line as well when Simone McGill had that opportunity a little bit earlier. But certainly it seems that when Northern Ireland can get the ball down that left-hand side, whether it's Wade, whether it's Callahan, whether it's Vance, Albania aren't being sucked across, and it's given the Northern Ireland player that extra second or two to pick out a teammate in the middle.
It's 3 good chances in the first 20 minutes.
At the other end, Albania haven't offered a huge amount going forward. Dockies look very tidy. Krasnicki as well has been good on the ball, but there's been no real focal point. Maksuti is playing that number 9 role, if you like, and was a handful at Seaview as well, but again, even on that occasion, didn't really trouble the goalkeeper.
Yeah, she's been starved a little bit of the ball, and I think the first 5 minutes she got a few touches, but
Krasnicki, though, one of the danger players. You can see surrounded by 4 Northern Ireland shirts. Again, there's a space, and Albania can't afford to do this too often, because there are quite a few players with cultured left foot, with a cultured left foot, and as part of their arsenal. One of them is Marissa Callahan, who decided to back herself, and the defender got in the way. But I'm sure he wants his right back to push out. It's far too easy for Marissa Callahan. Tukai got in the way of it, but it's another set piece, and I suppose at international level, this is what you can work on. You get the opportunity to defend set pieces and set a few things up. Northern Ireland have been pretty good at them over the past couple of years, and a lot of it has been down to delivery of Demi Vance. We had just peeled away. No real power in her effort, though. Here's Andrews. One-on-one. Initial cross is blocked. May well get another opportunity. Backwards to McKenna. That is another good delivery. Super goalkeeping, though. Good strong hand as Vance with the right foot plays it goalwards, and the goalkeeper is going to take an extra few seconds just to absorb a little bit more pressure and push your players up the pitch. There's the initial punch from Rex Heppy. And Rex Heppy has just gone down for a moment. It'll be a massive blow to Albania given her importance.
Yeah, I think she just ran into her own player and got a little bit winded there. Good time maybe just to take the sting out of the game for her team. A bit of intelligence there.
We just saw a shot of Laura Rafferty. How comfortable do you feel she is in that position, particularly when the Albanian players aren't pushing up on her? She has time to express herself on the ball.
Yeah, that's definitely one of Laura Rafferty's strengths, you know, being able to ping a pass. And, you know, she's grown up in her younger years. She played the 6 very well, or the 8, you know, so she's used to, you know, that midfield role of having the ball at her feet, and, you know, gives her that wee extra time, maybe, you know, to float a switch pass, or, you know, just to play it into the midfield, which she does really, really well.
Rex Heppy is okay. 25 minutes played here in Tirana in this League B UEFA Women's Nations League encounter. Northern Ireland currently sitting 3rd in the group on 4 points, 1 behind Hungary and 3 ahead of tonight's opponents, Albania. The Republic of Ireland top the group. They cannot be caught. Tanyok's to be side of 1 win, 1 draw and 2 defeats so far in the group. The victory was against tonight's opponents. A narrow 1-0 win at Seaview, courtesy of Lauren Wayne's strike just after half-time. That Albania victory was the first competitive win in just over a year. Having said that, though, Northern Ireland had been starved of fixtures. They had to play quite a few friendlies during that time. Another delay as a free kick is retaken. Lovely play from Maxwell. A little flick from Callahan doesn't find its intended target, McGill. All seems to be one-way traffic, though. It was an attempt to clear that time for Barisha, who's just been pushed further and further back. Vance has a Glentoran teammate inside McCarran. And now it's McFadden. 103 international caps now. Good ball to find Andrews, who decided to play it in first half. First time. Clearance is only as far as Maxwell. McKenna. I think there was a little bit of contact as McKenna tried to lunge at the last minute and get it goalwards. You can see the pain in the face of the Albanian player. It's Genie.
She rolled her ankles well and didn't.
I was going to say, because I was actually trying to figure out, was it from the contact of McKenna come across? But again, it looks like the ankle's stuck on the turf a little bit.
It did, yeah. Definitely gone inverted there. hurts.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I think Maddie Harvey-Clifford will be happy enough that she hasn't had that much to do in the opening half hour, just settling into international football. The 21-year-old has been involved in squads before, but this was the first time she'd been called up by Tanya Oxtoby. Shannon Turner had played all the other games in the group in the absence of Jackie Burns, who is working her way back from injury. We wish her well if she's watching. She was involved in her coverage when Northern Ireland faced the Republic of Ireland, but judging by social media, the rehab's starting. She's working very hard herself, trying to get back into the squad and trying to get back into the Reading team as well. I think there's still a little bit of work to be done, but it's certainly moving in the right direction. She's a big figure. She's a massively important player for Tanya Oxtoby in terms of how she wants this side to play.
Yeah, absolutely. We do wish Jackie all the best. And again, it's just Northern Ireland need depth, and especially the goalkeeping area, you know, to make sure that they can perform to their maximum.
We've spoken about it plenty of times over the last while. Also, Jackie's ability with her feet too. You know, she's so reassuring at the back and can play the ball over the top if she needed. Her range of passing is superb, and it's been such an asset to Northern Ireland over the past number of seasons. A bubbly character, very popular as well around the dressing room, as it's cut out by Krasniki. McCarran. No Rachel Furness, who's out injured. Northern Ireland's record goal scorer, of course. The Bristol City player picked up a knock and won't be involved on the pitch in the next couple of games as Maxwell's cross is blocked. In nips McGill, and again it's off the line. I think the flag may well have been up on the far side, but everyone's looking across to figure out what has actually been given, and I wonder what has been given here.
Penalty?
Possibly a penalty. The referee, I didn't see her point to the spot at any point, but it's well. Oh, it's a free kick. It's not a penalty. It's outside the box, but
excellent to see that from that angle.
As you can see,
change the trajectory of the ball.
Oh, it certainly does. Yeah, but I think it was. I think initially it was her communication that confused not just us back here, but also the Albanian players and the Northern Ireland players who were walking away. Nobody was quite sure what was going on, but it's a Northern Ireland free kick just outside the box. Clarified by that camera angle, it was for the handout, which deflected the cross, and well, Jolie Andrews standing over it. Somebody's got to pick up Demi Vance on the edge of the box, I think. She would very much fancy that. There are some of the aerial threats in the middle. Sarah McFadden and Rafferty, the two obvious ones. Just over half an hour played it is. Cut back, it's McGill who was on a turn and forced it goalwards, but with very little venom in it. Back in again by McKenna, flicked on by McFadden. Northern Ireland have numbers over here. Playing in first time, and I think it was Laura Rafferty. Nobody really picking her up at all, and perhaps could have taken a touch. Gonna have another opportunity now, though. This time the flag is up. You do feel Northern Ireland are knocking at the door.
They really are, yes. They're getting real quality chances here, and it's just the fine margins, you know. It's just in the final third there. Just see slightly offside, yes. Just needed to come back a little bit faster, but I think just those final decisions, if they can make better choices.
What's working for you? I mean, we've already kind of identified those wide areas, but what else do you feel is going to be key to unlocking this defence?
Yeah, support, numbers forward, and I think we've been so patient in our build-up play. Again, you see, just knocked it around the back, happy enough to do that, and you know, but you have to start moving Albania then, so it's pinning them into one side and maybe tack the other, and I think when we do that, we're just maybe not being a wee bit more confident in ourselves to go on ourselves. I think we're crossing a little bit too early.
dare I say it, we've just been speaking about it, but it's the kind of the Rachel Furness run that is maybe being missed a little bit at the moment. Still a long way to go, but it's that type of run from the midfield trio, whether it be Marissa Callahan, whether it be Julie Andrews, or probably less likely McCarran.
Yeah, I think even the run that Callahan had, you know, where she dropped the shoulder and she went outside, she had a good shot. You know, it's a wee bit more individual, possibly off the dribble, but it's fine margins. You know, we were just a pass away there from Simone McGill breaking the line and, you know, possibly getting a chance inside the box there. So
it does look as well in the last few seconds that Marissa Callahan has pushed up a little bit more. You can see her almost playing alongside Simone McGill now, with Wade peeling out towards the far side. Back on the left wing once more. Hasn't quite clicked for the opposition though when they are in possession. Just over 10 minutes to go until half-time in Tirana. Albania 72nd in the world, Northern Ireland 47th. Home side with just one victory in their last 7 games. That's included 5 defeats and 1 draw. They've won just 2 competitive matches in the last 2 years, and those victories coming against Armenia and Kosovo. They're in possession here though. It's a good ball if the winger can get there. Run being made through the middle. A little flick on was from Max Suti, looking for Franja, I think it was, on the near side. Yeah. Matala had also come off from the back.
I think it was excellent defending from Northern Ireland, just to sit in, be tight as a back four and force the mistake, which they did.
Touch from McGill, just a little bit heavy. It was a really good idea though. I have to say Maliki's had a great first half so far. Cleared the ball off the line on a couple of occasions. Kept an eye on McGill and made a couple of crucial interceptions. There's another one. Normally when I say things like that, they make a mistake, but on that occasion it was exemplary defending once more. Wade will relish the opportunity to cut inside and take on the Albanian defenders. McCarran does well to win it back, and positioning is so good, Chloe McCarran. McKenna just got a little flick on it. It's kept in by Danielle Maxwell, who was a late call-up for those matches last month. Ended up playing both games against Hungary. I think ended up being player of the match in both of them. Scored a crucial goal at Seaview to draw the sides level. And McGill again is spaced in the middle, and that will go down as a chance for Simone McGill, given her high standards. Northern just have to be patient here, because they're dominating this game in terms of territory and getting the balls into those wide areas. And when the crosses come in, you would expect that over the course of the 90 minutes, the likes of McGill or Callahan is going to make Albania pay if they let Northern Ireland have the freedom of the 2 flanks as they have been so far. Still scoreless so in Tirana. Rafferty. Bounces up from the back. Provide that brilliant cross early on for McFadden. Nicely worked towards Andrews, and there are bodies forward here. Lifted in by Callahan again. It was first time, and it ends up in the side netting. No Kirsty McGuinness, who pulled out of the squad last month for personal reasons. She hasn't returned once again. Caitlin McGuinness, her sister, and Lily Woods not involved this time either. Rachel McCarran was brought in for Kelsey Burrows as a late replacement. You've also got the teenager Kerry Halliday of Linfield called up alongside, as we've already been mentioning, Maddie Harvey-Clifford. So I used the word transition earlier. You look at the age profile of some of those younger players getting a little taste of international football as well.
Yeah, I think that's the exciting thing that Danielle Maxwell and Maddie Clifford have proved. If you come in and you do well, you get an opportunity to start. It's the beauty of a new manager and a new philosophy coming in, and I'm sure that must be so exciting for the likes of Kerry Halliday that once you get your chance. And
A little clash of heads as Julia Andrews and her opposite number are down. It's Matala. Matala just ran straight into Julia Andrews after the initial challenge.
I think it was her arm that she hit her head.
There's a player we were just talking about, Danielle Maxwell. I suppose in many ways as well, anybody comes into the squad will look at that example of what happened last month with Danielle Maxwell and feel, look, if I hit the ground running and training, you never know what would happen.
Yeah, it's the beauty of coming in and being ready to go and expressing yourself. And we know previously what Danielle Maxwell can bring and the goals that she scored even this year for Cliftonville. Some absolutely fantastic finishes, and we're hoping for one of those today, Thomas.
Well, it was a fine way to open an international account. That save you goal really that Northern Ireland desperately needed at that point, because couldn't really afford Hungary to make it back-to-back victories against Tanya Oxtoby's side and pull away in second place. Still very much up for grabs though, and the potential of promotion. McCarran, this new look tournament, Northern Ireland will look to solidify that place amongst the second tier nations. That's a really good pass by McFadden, and it opens up for Wade. Marissa Callahan wants it in the middle. I think that took a touch, so it'll be a corner kick, but it's certainly in that sequence of play, that little triangle that you feel Northern Ireland have looked most dangerous, working it across the left-hand side, having the runners in the middle. A little bit more patience and composure, and you feel that the visitors can make Albania pay. You look at the players starting to flood in now. There's four in the middle there with Julie Andrews helping out. Vance off the head of McFadden and over. Maxuti is tall and very helpful in the air when it comes to the defensive job she's expected to do. It was also very evident that the match at Seaview that she's been tracking Sarah McFadden every time from set pieces.
Yeah, I think that's probably testimony to Sarah McFadden's goals and aerial prowess she's had over the years from set plays, that, you know, teams are going to target her and know that she's going to be a threat.
Referee playing advantage for the initial challenge, and a thread of ball was looking for McGill. Just too close to Rex Hepping. Northern Ireland haven't been particularly prolific in the group. They obviously scored one at home to Albania and one at home to Hungary as well, and those two strikes away to Hungary, the initial leveller through Cara Hamilton and then Simone McGill's penalty, but can they get one just before half-time here? Pull back to Callahan, force goalwards, and then it's Simone McGill right on cue. The initial chance from Marissa Callahan may well have struck the arm of the defender, but the referee played advantage, and in the right place at the right time was Simone McGill. 23 goals now at international level, back and firing with her club. The ace predator got there first.
Yeah, again, I think it's Lauren Wade where she recognises she's got a 1v1 and she breaks the line, but great positioning from Marissa Callahan. First of all, to peel off into the pocket, and somehow they managed just to bundle the ball over the line, but I don't think they'll care that much because right now it's 1-0 to Northern Ireland, and it's really the breakthrough goal that they needed.
Yeah, I don't think in terms of her career goals it's going to be highlighted as one of the best, but you know what? I don't think she cares. No strikers do. Northern Ireland have the advantage in it. It's a great time to score just before the interval. Simone McGill, on her 77th cap, finds a net. She was denied a little bit earlier with the clearance off the line, and you just wonder, might that goal change the complexion of the game? Albania are going to have to go for it when you look at the group as well. They simply can't afford to lose this fixture if they're to have any hope at all of staying in Group B. Just staying quiet for a moment because you can actually hear Tanya Oxtoby giving a few instructions. Higher, Chloe, as a command towards Chloe McCarran, but it's been very obvious right from the word go that the left-hand side has been particularly fruitful, and well, the goal has been coming via that route, and now it's down the opposite flank that McKenna's pushing forward. Pass just fizzed at Maxwell. She apologises, but it was a difficult one to control in Danielle Maxwell's defence.
I think Northern Ireland, that goal just spurred them on to stay on the front foot, and we know the statistics of when teams concede one, you've got an opportunity to score again, because
Vance is going to have a pop. It was Andrews in there, 4 minutes of additional time at the end of the first half. A couple of injuries during the opening 45 minutes. Northern Ireland taking the lead a moment to go through Simone McGill. It was a scrappy goal after Marissa Callahan was initially denied. I'm not sure if the referee had decided it was going to be a penalty, but anyway, but it certainly looked like it did come off the arm of the Albanian defender. It's all one-way traffic though right now. McCarran. We've played almost a minute of the allotted 4. Vance. McGill can't squeeze it through to Julie Andrews.
yeah, we're just trying to go through them, and maybe the option is to go around them here if we can create a little bit of width.
But you can see the confidence is given the Northern Ireland side. You can also see how deep Albania are starting to drop. No pressure at all being put in that Northern Ireland back line. I mentioned they haven't been particularly prolific, but that's potentially a vital goal. It would put Northern Ireland in second place. Obviously, Hungary are in action against the Republic of Ireland, the runaway group leaders later on. And if that was to go with form, and Northern Ireland were to be on 7 points after 5 games, with Hungary on 5, well, it would certainly be all to play for in terms of that potential playoff spot. Here's Maxwell. Northern Ireland really pushing hard just before the interval. Callahan fires it goalwards. Did it take a touch? I'm not judging by that reaction.
Yeah, it was a tough angle there. Maybe needed someone at the top of the box, maybe to arrive late, but sometimes when you're in those positions, you just want to have a shot on goal, and
a lot of times it's worth the risk. You never know. It could hit off a defender, it could hit off anybody.
Absolutely. Don't shoot, can't score.
Andrews to Maxwell. Plays it in. It's a really good delivery this time, and it was aimed towards Lauren Wade, and there is going to be time for this corner kick to be taken.
It's a fantastic ball, and it's so inviting there just for Lauren Wade to come onto it, and the defender does well just to see the danger and knock it out.
It's played short, and Vance tried to lift it in with her right foot. One back by McFadden. Vance is going to get another chance. This actually starts Marissa Callahan instead. Headed down by Rafferty, and it took anything out of the effort. Headed straight into the turf. Rex Hepburn fired it forward, but I think some of her teammates would have been happy enough if she'd held on to it for a few more seconds.
Yeah, you're just thinking, if you're Rachel Furness watching this, she's probably thinking, I could have a hat-trick of goals
It's
here.
kind of the game it's almost made for,
Totally.
isn't it? And
yeah.
I know that's easy to say when you've got a record goal scorer, but it's just in terms of the space that Albania are giving Northern Ireland and the amount of crosses coming in. That run that she's made on countless occasions, you just feel it. It was suited down to the ground. No disrespecting the players who are at the pitch, so. Here's Vance. Wade, really good idea if Callahan can get there. Just ran out of room. But Northern Ireland have the lead at half-time. Simone McGill's goal, the difference between the sides. Tapped in from close range after Marissa Callahan's initial effort was blocked. After 45 minutes, it is Albania 0, Northern Ireland 1. Coming up on the iPlayer later, it's the big two.
There's always the pride of when Linfield play Glentoran that neither camps like to lose.
When I was younger, you always heard about the rivalry between the two clubs.
Always nice to win the big two matches.
Big two games is completely different. You can't predict these games.
That huge fixture tonight, East Belfast against South Belfast. A long rivalry down through the years between those two clubs. Live on the BBC iPlayer from 7:30. Linfield, the league leaders, taking on Warren Feeney's Glentoran. Plenty of football coming up, of course, for you over the next few days. We have that game tonight at the Oval between Glentoran and Linfield. Then on Tuesday, at 5:45, there is full live coverage on BBC Two television of the final fixture in the Nations League. Northern Ireland taking on the Republic of Ireland. The Republic of Ireland have already topped the group. Katie McCabe, of course, a superstar there. They're in action tonight in Tala against Hungary, but before making the trip to Belfast to take on Tanya Oxtoby's side. Then on Wednesday, 12:30 on the iPlayer, the Irish Cup 5th round draw will take place. The big boys get involved for that one, and we'll tell you who is facing who at the start of January. This is, of course, a new look competition, the Women's Nations League, the first time it's ever been held. There are implications in terms of promotion and relegation and potential seeding for future qualification groups. Let's find out a little bit more about what's in store in the new year.
At the end of the Nations League stage, group standings will determine promotion and relegation, as well as qualification for the Nations League finals. The 4 group winners of League A will contest the Nations League finals, comprising 2 single-leg semi-finals, a third-place match, and a final to determine the first ever UEFA Women's Nations League winners. In the first edition and every 4 years, the Nations League finals will also decide Europe's participants in the Women's Olympic football tournament. Automatic promotion and relegation will see the group winners of Leagues B and C promoted, while those who finish bottom of Leagues A and B, as well as the lowest ranked third-placed team of League B, will be relegated. Promotion and relegation matches played on a home and away basis will be contested by the third-placed teams in League A and the League B runners-up for a place in League A, while the 3 best-ranked third-placed teams in League B will play the 3 best-ranked League C runners-up for a position in League B. At the conclusion of the Nations League phase, these promotions and relegations will be reflected in the league allocation for the European qualifiers phase. This phase begins in the first half of 2024 and will serve as the qualification pathway for UEFA Women's Euro 2025. The 4 group winners and 4 runners-up from League A will qualify directly for the final tournament, while 2 rounds of home and away playoffs will determine the remaining qualified teams. The 3rd and 4th placed teams in League A will play the League C group winners and 3 best-ranked runners-up, with the 8 winners progressing to round 2. The 4 group winners and 2 best runners-up in League B will play against the 2 remaining runners-up and 4 third-placed teams of League B, with the 6 winners progressing to round 2. In round 2, the 14 teams will be drawn into 7 ties, and the 7 winners will progress to the final tournament. The UEFA Women's Euro 2025 host is guaranteed a slot in the final tournament, and the playoff paths will be adjusted as necessary to take into account their performance. Additionally, at the conclusion of the European Qualifiers League stage, no promotion and relegation matches will be played. However, automatic promotions and relegations will be reflected in the league composition for the next competition edition. With this dynamic and continuous competition system, where every team can qualify for a major tournament and in which every match matters, there's a lot to look forward to in European women's national team football.
So Northern Ireland leading 1-0 at half-time away in Tirana, a game that I mentioned earlier could prove to be crucial in the battle for promotion to League A. Here is a Simone McGill goal that separates the 2 sides. Nice build-up play. Marissa Callahan involved. She timed to run perfectly as it made its way out towards Lauren Wade. The pull back to Callahan. That was blocked, and then the follow-up from Simone McGill. It could well have been a penalty anyway, had it been adjudged as a handball on the Albania defender, but the Northern Ireland players certainly won't be too concerned about that. A close-range finish from Simone McGill, and Northern Ireland have the advantage at the break. They created the bulk of the opportunities. Debutant keeper Harvey Clifford has had virtually nothing to do at the back for Northern Ireland. All the danger has been coming down the left-hand side. And there's a close range finish from Miguel, just about getting enough on it. Scored their first Aston Villa goal at the weekend in a 7-0 victory in the League Cup. Scoring again at international level, and that is the difference between the sides after 45 minutes. Welcome back. Northern Ireland leading 1-0 at half-time against Albania. If the result was to stay this way, Northern Ireland would go into second in the group and potentially have that promotion playoff. Still 45 minutes to go, though, against a tricky Albanian side. It was very tight in Belfast. Northern Ireland did create opportunities, but scored just the one goal through Lauren Wade in the first half. Here they've struck through Simone McGill. They certainly had potential openings. Maliki was very unfortunate with the goal herself. One change at half-time for the home side. I think it's an enforced one. Matala was down towards the end of the first half, and on comes number 7, Barisha, who played in Belfast. Northern Ireland team staying as they were. Plenty of firepower on the bench when you look at the likes of Kerry Halliday scoring all the goals domestically for Linfield. May well get her chance in an international debut as the game evolves. Gail, I would expect the message dressing room was keep going, keep doing the same thing.
Yeah, I just think they know the importance of the final third and the ball in, and create those overloads in wide areas, you know, to create those opportunities to get free. But we've been here before, you know, where you're winning 1-0 and it's tough to find that second goal. I think Northern Ireland, you know, maybe learn from that and see if they can really push forward to, you know, to get that second, because normally then you can maybe get the third and fourth.
Yeah, it could be massive. There's Rafferty playing in towards the goal scorer, McGill. Good turn from her. Nice play to flick it out towards McKenna. Maxwell has options in the middle. McGill, there is a second. Less than a minute into the second half. It's 2 for McGill. Lovely build-up play. Northern Ireland worked it towards Maxwell, who skipped away from her marker. And McGill, like she does so often, just peeled away. Inch perfect header. The second goal, as we identified, was going to be vital, and Northern Ireland have found it straight out of the dressing room.
Yeah, it's that little pocket of space that Simone, like any good striker, finds themselves in, and she has been knocking on the door with headers. The balls have been coming in, she hasn't been able to contact them, and obviously to score one tonight and to be on 2 goals and pushing on to get your hat-trick so early in the game is really good for Northern Ireland.
You mentioned it in the first half. Even the first pass in that move, the lower Rafferty ball into the space, that cut out a whole line of the Albanian players, and it's that type of bravery that you wanted to see more of as this game started to progress.
Yeah, without doubt. You had said earlier on, you know, what are we going to expect, you know, from the new managers' phases and systems, and it's that breaking the lines early and being so confident and brave, you know, in the 1v1 areas, and the overloading then in the box to find space.
Albania, I don't think I've actually had an effort on goal at all. Krasnicki skips away from McCarron, I think it was, but you can see very few options up ahead. We mentioned that it was vitally important to keep an eye on Docky. Look how deep she's had to come to get onto the ball. Going to start the second half.
It is, it's the start.
It just sets a tempo, and if you like, halftime came at a bad time for Northern Ireland because they were very much in the ascendancy, and you can just see the little triangles now starting to come off. They found their rhythm. They found a second, and Simone McGill has grabbed 2. Just have to be worried at the back that they keep things very tight and very solid. Harvey Clifford just looks at her options. Karen wants it, always such a useful outlet for goalkeepers.
Yeah, it's wonderful to have a 6 who just is so hungry to get on the ball at all occasions, and
in any area of the pitch. I mean, even in her own penalty area, she's almost going to demand the ball.
And there's so much more to her game than just that. She's fantastic off the dribble. She can hit from 30 yards. We've seen that before, and it's fantastic just to see that she's been given that role and that responsibility tonight.
And it's a very disciplined role. I mean, you mentioned that obviously the long-range finish. We saw it one night at Seaview. I think it was against the Furrows. A really good strike from a long way out from McCarran, former Birmingham City player, of course.
Yeah, I just feel a little bit that Albania look a wee bit despondent right now, and might work to Northern Ireland's favour here.
McGill, anything but, as she wins the corner. And a 2-0 down. It's going to take a lot for them to get back into this game. And as I mentioned earlier, on 1 point, if Northern Ireland were to get to 7, and they obviously can't catch Hungary, it would mean relegation tonight for Albania. Despite that opening draw against Hungary, despite holding the Republic of Ireland scoreless until the 80th minute, Denise O'Sullivan popped up with a goal. They have it all to do at home. 40 minutes to go, though. Right on top of the goalkeeper, right on top of the goal, in fact. Vance, Andrews and McCarran, all Glentoran players who cleaned up domestically this season, as Maxwell looks to flick it into McGill on that hat-trick. Lovely touch from Marissa Callahan. Here's Wade over the head of McGill. Certainly keeping that back line busy. It's a decent idea from Wade. I think she thought that Vance was in the overlap and Marissa Callahan was slightly more advanced, but you can see that the message is very much to get the ball out to the wing. We've seen one from the left-hand side, we've seen one from the right-hand side, and McGill can't quite get there, but Maxwell and Wade have provided the assists for Simone McGill's 2 goals. Max Sutik. Decent turn, but then telegraphs her pass straight to McCarran. I wonder, will Tanya Oxby consider changes? Obviously that massive match coming up on Tuesday night. Well, these players are out of season, of course, so that's something she will have to consider.
Yeah, they're out of season and they've had a very long season domestically at home, especially the ones that competed for Cliftonville in the Champions League.
Really good from Sarah McFadden. Scurried across to get there first, and Laura Anford didn't want to take any chances then. Afterwards, you can see Sarah McFadden looking across to the assistant to say, was that not a foul? She felt there was a little push in the back there. The Durham player. A pocket of space though for the home side, and a swinger in the left foot from the substitute Berisha. Didn't look that confident as she struck the ball after good footwork initially.
Yeah, she's an eager space there. There's a wee bit misassignment who was meant to press the ball, and you know, she had a wee bit of quality that could have hurt Northern Ireland. So,
but again, it's another example of just how deep Albania are playing. You look at that last shot, nobody had made the run into the box, and Northern would be very happy with that, but it certainly limits what the home side can do when they're in possession. Haven't really had that focal point so far. Max Sudi, though, has made her way in as McKenna just takes a touch and gets away from Dockey. Ball still in play. And Albania now have certainly pushed up. Very evident. They understand they have to go and attack this game. They need something from it. Referee's letting the lock go is picked up by McGill. Gap starting to emerge. Here's Callahan under no pressure. Wade screaming for it.
Yeah, it was a poor ball originally there, just from Callahan into Wade, and unfortunately Wade had the lunge there and give away the foul. But the spaces again in that left-hand side, if Northern Ireland can move the ball just a little bit quicker to be able to create an opportunity to get in behind Albania.
Without being too presumptuous in terms of the result, which is the most important thing, getting 3 points, how big a confidence boost would it be for Northern Ireland to maybe add another couple of goals on going into Tuesday's fixture, and in many ways take any pressure off at all going into that game and a massive occasion?
No, I think you play football yourself, you know that goals give you that confidence, and you know you want to be a team that is reaping your rewards there of getting into those goal scoring opportunities and taking them and executing. And I'm sure that's what Tanya herself is thinking, that she'll definitely want more goals, and to see her players just being able to put the ball in the back of her net. I'm sure she's wanting to think that if her striker gets a hat-trick, you know, that can only bode well for Tuesday night.
And from a player's point of view, none of them are on my staff fixture. They want to be a part of it. So whilst you're 2-0 up, there'll be no taking your foot off the gas here. That substitutes will want to make an impact, and every player who's on the pitch will want to make sure that they're being considered from the start on Tuesday night as well. Here's Lauren Wade, Callahan and McGill in the middle. Wade trying to pull it back towards Callahan's cutout, though by Georgie. The two centre backs for Albania, not the tallest players, but their positional play has been very good. Georgie and Maliki taking short to Vance. Here's Maxwell, might fancy a pop herself, instead flicks it towards the back post. McGill gets there on a hat-trick, of course. Interesting hearing her speak about the injury and the rehab, which can be so lonely, and when it's a knee injury like she had, you know the process, you know the different mechanisms and the different things you have to do. As Marissa Callahan fires it goalwards, but Simone McGill felt that after, despite all the kind of the lonely sessions and the hard work you have to do when you maybe spend months away from an actual football, she feels she's stronger and better equipped now for the rest of her career as a result of it, which takes a lot from a player to say.
Absolutely, it goes to show you the strength of character of her mentality, and I'm sure that's exactly what Tanya wants to hear, that she's hungry to be back. And
there is a third. It's Maxwell back on the score sheet again. That should secure all 3 points. The gap starting to emerge all over the pitch. Again, Wade was involved. This time, picked the right option, and it's 2-2 for Danielle Maxwell.
The numbers in the box, it's a 3v3 with McLaren coming in and recovering players, and the run for McLaren probably creates that space for Maxwell, but again, one-touch finish, and that's the killer when you're in the box.
Look at the numbers forward there. And credit to Wade, she waited and waited, because the first ball was initially towards McGill, then there was a second wave, and just having that presence of mind of Maxwell just to ease back a little bit from the defender and create that bit of space. And well, 8 caps, 2 goals for Danielle Maxwell. What a few weeks it's been for her. What we're talking about in terms of players making sure that they've caught the manager's eye and that they don't take their eye off the ball. That was a ruthless finish from Northern Ireland and from Danielle Maxwell. And the visitors want more, and Albania are, quite frankly, all over the place right now. Here's Wade. She wants to get in the act. Batted away by Rex Heppy, but you can see what the goalkeeper's saying. the back four and the keeper have been so isolated for the last few minutes. When this ball is played, it takes out 2 or 3, and there's nobody back helping out for Albania.
And it just goes to show you the confidence now of Lauren Wade. Like, she's taking that first touch and she wants to shoot. And, you know, maybe in the first 20 minutes of the game, we were maybe looking at the combined passes. Now we're really on the front foot and trying to hurt Albania.
Vance pulls it back again. A long way back to McKenna. Numbers forward in the middle. Who will Vance target? Well, it's going to be another corner kick, and that was one off the training ground. It was an odd one, wasn't it? I mean, you're more in touch with that than I am, but with about 6 or 7 in the middle, I would like to have seen the expression in Sarah McFadden's face when the ball went back towards Rebecca McKenna and didn't go in towards the danger zone.
Yeah, I think Danielle McDowell, she's the set pieces coach, and wouldn't be too happy with that. It's certainly not from her playbook.
Changes coming up. There is one. It's Georgie, one of centre halves, who makes her way across, and Pakaradze comes in. I have to say, Georgie, I thought was playing pretty well. It didn't look at the back that the issues were, but second change is McFadden attacks it, and it's away by Berisha. All one-way traffic, all Northern Ireland right now.
Yeah, it's almost like in those corners that someone needs to block for McFadden just to get half a yard, get a bit of freedom there. But there is a big space right in front of the goal there, inviting people to come onto it, maybe near post.
Here is Vance. Plenty still forward. 3 in there. You can see Simone McGill wants it, just pointing towards the area she was looking Vance to try and play it into. McFadden striding over the halfway line. Past the hour mark. Generally, when you see the changes starting to roll in, Callahan, she'd want to get in the score sheet. Decent delivery towards Wade. Could fall for McCarran, just wide. Mentioned her ability in front of goal earlier.
And I think that was Northern Ireland's best phase. You know, came from the left, they were patient. Vance didn't try to force anything. They came out to the right with fine Callahan in a pocket of space there. Clear the first one, and again, first time hit is what you need in the box, and that is very, very close not to go in.
Another chance for Wade. This time it's offside. Well, Albania are bringing a lot of themselves, it has to be said. Still playing a high line. Look, this is a very obvious comment to make, but Tanya Oxby will be delighted with the attitude in the second half, but also the ruthless streak, and the fact that she has spoken about needing her players to play for 90 rather than these little fits and starts she's seen. But if you're a new manager coming in and you're trying to make changes, and you're trying to put your blueprint into motion, you can't put a price on winning games and scoring goals.
Absolutely.
And that's what's happened.
Yeah, it'll just be interesting to see now. Does she freshen it up here after 60 minutes? You know, does she have one eye in Republic of Ireland, or, you know, does she give people more time here?
Does have limited time with the players in these international windows. I think some of the players have been spoken about how intense it is. You know, a lot of meetings, a lot of kind of get to know you sessions, if you like, as well as double sessions on the pitch. Here's McKenna, and look at the amount of players forward here. McKenna charged into that little bit of space. So far, so good.
Yeah, just watching the body language of Albania, and it's, don't know if they're tired or, but they definitely look deflated.
And certainly the second after halftime was
Killer.
Was a killer blow. And, well, what was there about changes? There's 3 coming up. 2 of them very experienced, in Rebecca Holloway and Cara Hamilton. And, well, massive chance for the third member of the trio, Kerry Halliday about to make her international debut. What a talent is she.
Very much so. Again, I watched her training this past week with the seniors. She didn't look out of place, and obviously a player that it was away
Plucked from the under-19s.
We'll definitely miss her tomorrow, but what an opportunity she has this evening to get her first international cap and hopefully maybe get a goal.
Who's he going to fall to? Maxwell again. But I suppose, obviously, the loss of the for the under-19s is the fact that the senior team is the goal. That's what everything is worked towards, and you know, number 10, famous number, generally worn by the player. We've mentioned it on a few occasions. Lovely for her to get that number and get the chance, especially at 3-0, as we look back on that effort from Danielle Maxwell.
Yeah, I think so. And again, I'm sure she probably has butterflies and just can't wait to go on and do her thing. And there she is.
No hat trick. No hat trick for Simone Miguel, but even the fact she's walking off with a smile on her face kind of probably says it all. A double for her. You know, she'll obviously be involved on Tuesday, and Tanya Oxby won't want to take any chances there. Julie Andrews also, I think, coming off. There's confirmation at the bottom of the screen. Holloway, Hamilton and Halliday making her debut at 18 years old.
Yeah, just wonder if there's a wee change of a system there, because it looks like France is a bit further forward.
Ball in behind. There's Barisha. Guides it back to the goalkeeper, Harvey Clifford, who has absolutely nothing to do. So Harvey Clifford, 21. Rebecca McKenna, 22. Halliday, 18, coming on. Look at the age profile of some of the players. Danielle Maxwell also only 21, for example. You have the nucleus there of a bunch of players who you would expect they'll be around for a few years yet.
Yeah, that's really exciting, and I think it's important that the more experienced players are able to pass down their knowledge and help them along their journey.
Because that knowledge is invaluable. It's arguably more so in the women's game than it is in the men's game, because of the pathways and the professional nature where people are working day in, day out. It's, you know, the experience of some of those players that, and we all know that the household names from the Euros, for example, that they can pass on to the younger players in terms of the experiences, in terms of going away to tricky locations like this and getting a result.
Absolutely, and again, because women's football has changed so much, even in the past 3 to 5 years of the professionalism of it, it's important that knowledge is shared and the experiences together.
Here is one of the professional players, Lauren Wade. Cross with Reading in England, back to Marissa Callahan, the skipper. Cara Hamilton's first involvement. Looks to be playing that wing-back role as Halliday attempts to squeeze it across from a tight angle. Cara Hamilton playing there with her club. She started the Nations League match against the Republic of Ireland in that position, the right-hand side. Such a versatile player, of course, has been utilised further up the pitch as an out-and-out right winger, and has a terrific engine.
And a player who loves to score goals, and I'm sure she's thinking if she gets an opportunity to skip past someone tonight.
I think she's got 6 international goals in her. This is her 37th cap, so it's a good strike record for someone who's not playing as an out-and-out forward. Came off the bench, of course, and scored that header against Hungary that has kind of kick-started a crazy 10 minutes or so in that game. Here she is once more. Tries to play the perfect pass to Maxwell. It's going to be a corner kick. Just over 20 minutes to go. Northern Ireland in complete control. Haven't said that too often in the last 2 years or so. But they will feel that there are more goals in this game. Hungary taking on the Republic of Ireland and Tala a little bit later on. Again, it's towards the back post, looking for Callahan, skids off the head of the defender instead, and it's out for another corner kick. Northern Ireland did have really good away wins in qualifying against the likes of Latvia, Luxembourg and North Macedonia under Kenny Shields during the World Cup campaign. While Seaview has been a fortress, they have been good as well in their travels. This is played back to Maxwell. Should be 4, batted away. Another chance from Rafferty. Still not dealt with, still not dealt with, still not dealt with. How did that stay out? I have absolutely no idea. There was a last ditch attempt there. I think it's Maliki who threw her body in the way. It was unconventional, but it was effective. The first chance was for Callahan, then it fell to Rafferty, I think. Then it eventually fell to McCarron, who forced it goalwards. And well, it's quite remarkable that hasn't ended up being 4.
Absolutely. When Marissa Callahan looks back at that, she'll be saying to herself, how did that not go in?
And it was a decent stop from the goalkeeper in close proximity, but the follow-up after that was all a bit crazy. Halliday right on top of the goalkeeper. It's very scrappy, and it was a little flick from McFadden. It's just relentless pressure. This is the attempt a moment ago. Hopefully we will have a look at the chance involving Marissa Callahan and McCarron at some point, but I think the director's probably making sure that they don't miss any action on the pitch, because Northern Ireland looks so dangerous with every single ball into the box. You see Megan Bell just warming up there as Vance again looks towards that back post area. It was Rafferty that intended target this time. McCarron recycles it to Hamilton. Maxwell had no time at all on the ball, quickly closed down by Barisha, but worked out to Rebecca Holloway. There's a run for Vance. Holloway's continued into towards the middle. The flag was up anyway after a Northern Ireland player had drifted offside.
Yeah, I think the first initial pass might have been on for Holloway to make to Halliday, but
difficult to see from that angle, but flag was up early on.
yeah, 5 players in the box again, which is exciting to see. Everyone wants to get in the score sheet.
And there is an obvious contrast to what we were saying in the first half, when McGill was having to come deep to get on it, and maybe there weren't the targets in there, and we spoke about players making that extra run and getting beyond the line. Certainly since the break, I'm sure it was identified. I'm sure the players knew on the pitch, but also may well have been identified by Tony Oxley. But the second half, it's been very different. There have been numbers flooding forward, and well, the scoreline certainly reflects that.
Yeah, it's definitely just been a wee bit more assured, and more passes that have more intent to go forward, and bravery to take people on 1v1, and now the hunger and the desire to get in the box. And
it has followed a little bit of the same type of story or theme, if you like, from the game at Seaview, but has a difference tonight been that Northern Ireland have been ruthless when they've been in those situations, rather than, with all due respect, they probably squandered 4 or 5 very scoreable chances that night.
And yeah, so we're knocking on the door for so long, but like, if you think about the first goal, it was almost scuffed and bundled in.
That doesn't matter.
And I just think that gave them momentum to go right here. you know, and start the second half, like that's get more goals here. And I think it really boiled down to hunger and desire, that the experience that they've had before, knowing that if you don't get that second one, that it can continue to be a difficult night.
Halliday had only one thing in her mind. Maxwell takes the tumble. Yeah, there didn't appear to be too many nerves there from Halliday. Cut inside on the right foot. Lufo's coming on. Another change coming up for the home side. And off comes the skipper. The focal point, Docky, and I spoke about this early on, but really good job done on Docky. When you look at the significance she's had in previous games, whether that was at Saviour or whether it was against the Republic of Ireland, she's pretty emotional coming off there.
Yeah, I think she's in pain, maybe, but I'm not sure from what was...
Still from the ankle in the first half,
yeah.
is it?
She doesn't really ever seem to recover from that. And, you know, sometimes when players are quiet, you still get a little bit nervous because they haven't really got into the game and only need one chance. But, you know, it was difficult to see where that one chance was going to come for Albania tonight.
Yeah, it didn't appear to be hobbling, but as you mentioned, the first half was down for a couple of minutes. Studs seemed to get caught in the turf and tried to run it off, but re-emerged in the second half in the dressing room. Hasn't quite happened for Docky, hasn't quite happened for Albania, but in contrast, Northern Ireland have looked very good. 3 goals, 2 of them for Simone McGill, the other one from Danielle Maxwell, 2 and 2 for her, and they are in cruise control here in Tirana, and it sets up a massive night on Tuesday, live on BBC Two television, of course. Northern Ireland hosting the Republic of Ireland, the final game in the group, a game that will decide whether or not Northern Ireland go into a promotion playoff or a relegation playoff. Holloway. Well, Rafferty's look very comfortable back there. The skipper's armband is transferred across to Gigini. McFadden's still battling for every ball, as you would expect. Here is Vance. Takes on the stand-in captain, but can't find a teammate. Rex Heppy performed heroics at Seaview. Hasn't quite been as fortunate though tonight. Has been bombarded throughout this game with Northern Ireland efforts on goal.
Yeah, it's been wave and wave after attack from Northern Ireland with no answers from Albania.
Granted, there's over 10 minutes to go, but did you expect it to be as straightforward as this?
I did predict it was going to be 4-0 before the...
Did you?
Yes.
You didn't tell me that. You didn't say that on air, so it doesn't count. You weren't that brave.
I said to the team before they left, if they play well, I think they can beat them 4-0.
And what was that based on? Was that based on the game in Belfast, or kind of how you felt this Northern Ireland side was linking as Maxwell, who's looking for her second of the game, sees her effort blocked again? It is Maliki who has flung herself in the way of so many efforts on goal. What did you base that on?
I think it's because they keep getting into those areas in the final third and they just haven't been executing. And I think that, you know, as a team, when you're constantly doing that and you're probing, it will come and something will click. And again, if they had taken half their chances, it might have been 8.
But is that the coach in you saying that, you know, you would be worried if they weren't getting into those situations, if they weren't creating opportunities? But, you know, well, you know, if you knock on the door, eventually someone's going to answer. Is that the kind of the concept, and you feel it, you know, there's enough quality in the squad that when Northern Ireland get in those situations, eventually they will make teams pay?
Yeah, I think it's you know, you look back traditionally as well, even from Kenny's era, you know, it took him 2 or 3 games, maybe 4, you know, to really get into the swing of things. And, you know, you have to give new managers time. And I think you can start to see the stamp that Tanya's style of play has, and, you know, in which area of the pitch that, you know, she's looking to penetrate. And you can see there, you know, there's an overload, you know, in the inner cutter and then out. And it's just the final delivery and, you know, making those right choices in the final third that will really push Northern Ireland forward.
Well, the referee made the right choice there, because Rebecca Holloway certainly took a rather vicious kick, but managed to get the ball forward, and play continued as Callahan makes her way off the pitch. It's Megan Bell coming on. I think she's been asked to give the armband across to presumably Sarah McFadden. No, not Sarah McFadden now. She's off the pitch as well, so that went well. It's going to be Laura Rafferty who gets it. So Megan Bell on, as well as Ellie Mason. That's interesting, Laura Rafferty getting the armband, isn't it?
Proud moment for her, and
also probably signifies maybe her leadership qualities starting to come through. Obviously, it hasn't automatically been a first choice at any real stage at senior level. McFadden plays in the danger area, and it was Mason almost with her first touch trying to make contact. Just happened recently in one of the men's games when Johnny Evans was coming off, and the natural captain, I suppose, in that situation would have been Josh McGuinness, but instead he gave it to Daniel Ballard, and you could see what it meant to Ballard as a young player getting the skipper's armband, and the feeling was that was almost a sign of maybe that transition and a new leadership group starting to emerge.
Yeah, and I think that's so positive that is, you know, that players are given more responsibility, and you see the empowerment. I think that's the difference that, you know, when I look across to see the impact that Tanya's made is, you know, she's empowering the players to make decisions and to create a culture that they all want to be part of. And it's certainly not a dictatorship by any means. And, you know, she's given them tools to find the answers themselves.
And the ball back here, and with all those substitutions, Northern Ireland's perseverance certainly hasn't waned at all. Demi Vance winning the free kick as Jeannie is penalised. Still 8 and a bit minutes to go, but Maddie Harvey-Clifford will be absolutely delighted so far that her international debut has gone the way it's gone, because I mean, there were sure to be nerves. We mentioned it before this game, but here's Halliday. Oh, unfortunately, just to skip away from the substitute at the back, but she'll be desperate to keep that clean sheet. But Barisha is through, cuts back. Barisha stopped by the goalkeeper, and I suppose that's just the point we're making about concentration. Throughout the game, has had very little to do. When she's called into action, it's a comfortable stop for her.
It is, and it is fantastic. Because it's part of Maddie's game that she's been really working on. When you're not active, you know, how do you make sure you stay switched on? And again, she moves her feet excellently, and it's routine, and she gets up, she kills the time as well, and she looks very, very comfortable and confident back there with deflection.
I'm sure she's very appreciative of the likes of McFadden in front of her. Player with so much international experience. Kresnicki, so good in the ball, lovely turn from her. There's had very few opportunities to try and hurt Northern Ireland at the back as Bell finds McCarran.
And again, very, very reassured there. The Northern Ireland back line just been able to drop tight as a unit.
Wade. Always an outlet, always a willing runner, always so dangerous on the left-hand side. Troca. who started the first couple of games. And it is Max Sooty who is withdrawn. It has been a frustrating evening for her. Played a lot of it as a lone striker and barely got a kick. Troca has been involved in every game, the 20-year-old. Majority of them have been off the bench though. There's confirmation of that substitution. 6 minutes to go. And let's find out if Gail Redmond's prediction comes to pass. Wasn't brave enough to say it before the game or on air, but here is Vance. Over the goalkeeper and in, and right on cue, it's Megan Bell, the substitute with the fourth. Just her second goal, a little smile from Tanya Oxtovic. It's a goal from a set piece. It's what I'm sure she craved, given all the work they've done. The heads are down from an Albanian point of view on the bench, and Gail, you were right.
I was just about to give you the lottery numbers. I think Danielle McDowell will be so happy again, working tirelessly on set plays, but she just peels off back post, and once you get the ball on target and heading it back towards the goal, excellent finish and absolutely delighted for Megan Bell. She's been in the goals too now at Rangers, and to come on as an impact sub, as a finisher, and you know, the desire there just to get her head on the ball was fantastic.
Yes, it's been a tough couple of years for Megan Bell, given all of her injuries. Off the bench for this one, and finds Northern Ireland's fourth, and well, this game is very much put to bed. It's probably representative as well of the game overall. When you think about the possession, you think about the chances, and you think about the lack of opportunities that Albania have created.
Yeah, I just don't think that they've been completely at the races today, and it wasn't the Albania team that we saw in Belfast, but Northern Ireland, it's a different Northern Ireland team that's taken their opportunities and putting Albania under pressure in the right areas.
Krasniki sweeps it towards that far side. Hamilton battling forward, wins a free kick in the process. Some of the comments from Tanya Oxtoby in regard to playing for 90 minutes and in terms of fits and starts, and even the way she's reflected on the games. How much motivation will the players have taken from those words to almost not prove the manager wrong, but kind of prove that they're a 90-minute team rather than those little bursts?
Yeah, well, I think for the players that are coming there that are seasoned with lots of experience, they know that that's not the standard that they've created for themselves. They've gone to a major tournament, qualified rightly, and they know what it takes to compete at the top level. And in international football, it's definitely fine margins of being able to win, and you know, they want to make sure that they're moving forward collectively as a group.
3 minutes to go, plus whatever time is added on. There have been a number of substitutions, quite a few stoppages as well. Northern Ireland will definitely go second in the group. They'll be in 7 points. The Republic of Ireland play Hungary later on, but Hungary will drop to third. They're on 5 points. Republic of Ireland perfect so far, 4 wins from 4. And Albania will be relegated automatically. That is for sure. With 1 round of fixtures remaining on Tuesday night. Slightly earlier kickoff than usual, 6 o'clock at Windsor Park. You can watch the match live on BBC Two television. Big occasion. Republic of Ireland against Northern Ireland. Interesting to see how Northern Ireland have evolved from the opening game of the Nations League, as Megan Bell plays it right across the face of goal, and you can see by Demi Vance's reaction, she was just waiting to nod that in. I think the flag was up anyway. I don't think it would have counted, but it was good build-up play again, Gail.
It certainly was in the wee 1-2 again with Halliday. You'll see it And Bell maybe just drifts offside. Vance was looking over, making sure it wasn't her, but encouraging signs again from the youth of Northern Ireland.
Wade tries to peel away. Her performances deserve to go. Hamilton steps up. Could fall for Lauren Wade. Just taken off her toe. Albania just pinned back. And again, that look.
Another ankle injury.
Was that an ankle? Or, yeah, it is an ankle. I thought it was potentially a knee. It's a substitute. I guess knock would fall that time, just based on the replay, but it was a substitute. Hasn't been on the pitch that long. Pacarazzi. And you can see the concern from her teammates.
I think this girl's continuing.
Yeah, just the way she went down certainly didn't appear to be that way. The goalkeeper's across as well, and you can see the stretcher coming out. So 4 minutes of additional time, but you expect it's going to be more than that, given this serious-looking injury. Looks to be in real pain, but I suppose the good news is there isn't a brace or anything involved. She will be brought off for further medical attention. Albania's final game in the group, away to Hungary on Tuesday at the same time as Northern Ireland face the Republic of Ireland. All of the games on the final match day taking place at the same time because of the implications involving promotion and relegation. Final few moments here though. Cara Hamilton. Worked out towards Rebecca Holloway in this near side, one of the substitutes. And Cara has all the time in the world to pick a pass. Holiday wants to play in this space. You can see where she's pointing to Cara Hamilton. Out of 10, how would you rate this performance?
Yeah, I think a solid 7. I think there's
only a 7 is 4-0.
Yeah, harsh, aren't they? Possibly only at the end of it. I think it's been fantastic that the goalkeeper hasn't had very much to do, and the credit to Maddie when she's been called upon. She's been able just to produce and be solid back there. And again, I think the chances in the first half, if we can take them, it could have been a wee bit more comfortable. But I think you can see the signs now of what Northern Ireland are trying to do and build on. And it's very encouraging.
That was very tight. You can see Debbie Vance is looking across the line. Also, it won't matter at this stage in the 92nd minute, but it had been a little bit earlier in the game. I think the protest would have been a little bit more vocal. Nicely worked to Wade. Vance. Wade again. There's a huge amount of contact that was in the box, and it's just going to run out of play. We played 3 minutes of the allotted 4, and as I mentioned earlier, there may well be a little bit more. Tanya Oxtoby right in the edge of her technical area. She'd analyse this game, but will be happy with large parts of it, given the way Northern Ireland have played in the second half in particular. Had to be very patient and wait for Simone McGill's opener. It was a close range finish from the Aston Villa striker, but after the break it all changed. McGill struck less than a minute into the second period, then Danielle Maxwell and the substitute Megan Bell securing the points in what has been a very comfortable evening in Tirana. Mason. Mason to Vance. Again, the flag's up. And that is a lot more obvious, certainly from that angle.
She'll watch that back later tonight, and unfortunately they've cracked Emmy.
Four and a half minutes of injury time played. Back with Vance. Is there time for one more Northern Ireland opportunity? Bell can't force it forward. She's quickly closed down. And it's all the way back to the goalkeeper. The star of the show, despite losing 1-0 in Belfast on her home turf. It hasn't quite gone to plan, though, for Rex Heppy and her teammates. A dominant display from the visitors. Albania are relegated. Northern Ireland are in the mix for promotion. Tanya Oxtoby will be very pleased with that performance. 3 goals in the second half. There's one of the debutantes, the teenager Halliday. It's going to be a straight shootout with Hungary. They're in action this evening against the Republic of Ireland, who then make the trip to Belfast to take on Northern Ireland on Tuesday night. After a job well done away from home. Northern Ireland up to second, and this is why. These are the second half goals. Northern Ireland had been 1 up, but after the break, Simone McGill, within the first minute of the second half, doubling the advantage with a fine finish, her second of the evening. Northern Ireland continued to pepper the Albanian goal. Dominating possession and dominating the chances too. Here's the pullback for Danielle Maxwell's third. Back-to-back goals for her in the last 2 games. Danielle Maxwell, the Cliftonville player. That made it 3. Wrapped up the 3 points, and whilst the likes of Wade went close and Marissa Callahan too, McCarran, another who had to go with this volley. It was left to the substitute Bale to eventually make it 4. As you can see from these highlights, the visitors very much on top. How this stayed out, I do not know. Kamikaze defending, a handball all day, it has to be said when you see that replay. Marissa Callahan denied. Ball bouncing about. And Chloe McCarran, unfortunate. McFadden the next to have a chance, and well, eventually we will get to Megan Bell's 4th, having come off the bench, but all of these highlights just give you an indication of how it was all one-way traffic. And as I say that, there's the one opportunity in goal for Albania. And a night to remember for Maddie Harvey-Clifford. And there is Megan Bell's header. That made it 4. Wrap things up on a good night for Northern Ireland and Tanya Oxtoby. a second victory in the Nations League, up to second in the table. And all to play for going into the final match day. Just a reminder what's coming up on BBC throughout the next few days. Later tonight, 7:30, just an hour and a half's time, Glentoran welcome the league leaders Linfield to the Oval. That's live on the iPlayer. Then on Tuesday, earlier kickoff, 6 o'clock, our coverage gets underway at 5:45 on BBC Two television. Northern Ireland welcoming the Republic of Ireland in the final round of the Nations League. Then on Wednesday, the 5th round draw in the Irish Cup. The big sides getting involved in that famous competition. Who will they face? You'll find out on the iPlayer 12:30 on Wednesday. But the final score in this Women's Nations League game from Tirana in the second last round of fixtures, Albania relegated to Tier 3. They have been defeated by Northern Ireland by 4-0. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Don't forget, Glentoran Linfield in an hour and a half's time.